Electrical diag on RM480 mowers. There are a total of 7 videos. If the factory gauge doesn't stay on or the mower clicks excessively when first turned on, use this video. It covers the key on circuits or power up circuits and the charging circuits. The power flow consists of the battery, then it goes to the main connector and fuse, then to the charge port, the charger interrupt, and key on circuits. Power comes from the main cable to the right battery terminal. Then the little wire here goes to the charger interrupt. It's marked P7. Going from there, the power goes down to the DC-DC converter fuse, which is right here. It's the same red wire. It also turns on the same red wire. Also goes up to the charger interrupt controller or circuit. That's this P12 terminal here. The red wire is the one that comes from the solenoid and goes into the charger interrupt. The yellow wire comes out of the charger interrupt and goes towards the key switch. The black wire is the battery ground. The charger interrupt stays on all the time unless the charger is connected. When the charger is connected, it turns off the charger interrupt and the yellow wire goes to 0 volts. That yellow wire turns to it turns to red and goes to the key switch. When performing any electrical test, the battery voltage must be above 50 volts to properly test the mower. Voltage test in the port is as seen. You have the black on the right lower terminal and the red on the left lower terminal. You can see here that my battery voltage is 53 volts with the key off. When performing voltage tests, remove the red probe from the port. Leave the black probe in the port. If the port does not have voltage, then test the voltage at the main battery connector as shown here. If you have less than 50 volts here, then you need to retest your battery and connections. Once that has the correct voltage, then you need to go to the charger interrupt red wire and test that. It should be exactly same as the battery voltage. Then check the yellow wire. The yellow wire should have the same battery voltage. If the yellow wire has 0 voltage, either you've got a bad charger interrupt or a bad port. To temporarily test the rest of the mower, you can make a jumper wire, strip both ends of it, stick one end into the red wire that has battery voltage, and then the other end into the yellow wire that didn't have battery voltage. This should send power to the key switch at this time. The key switch red wire should have battery voltage now. Turning the key on. If the mower starts clicking rapidly, the key switch has bad contacts. Move the wires to the auxiliary terminals on the switch as shown here. Then turn the switch to the auxiliary position. The mower should turn on and the factory gauge should light up. The green wires should have power. This green wire also powers up the rest of the mower components, including the DC converter as shown here, and it also goes to the master and slave controller, and it goes to the drive controller on the other side of the mower. I've removed the port and the charger interrupt, which is that there, for ease of showing you what's going on. Normally, this blue connector is right under the port. You have to take the back cover off. The charger interrupt is usually mounted right up over here. So on the bracket. But for this purpose, I've got everything pulled loose. Now that I verified that I have battery voltage on the port, I need to check the blue wire coming out of the port. You pull up on that tab and you pull the port connector apart. You stick your red wire down inside there. It should have the same battery voltage. If you don't have battery voltage on the blue wire, the port's bad. Okay. Also inspect the port connectors, make sure the wires are all the way in there. I've seen a couple of them that the wires are pushed out of the terminal or pulled out here and they don't make good contact. When putting it together, make sure that the connector locks together. This is the charger temperature sensor. This only affects it charging with the factory charger. So if the factory charger isn't working, make sure this connector is good, and make sure that the pins aren't bent or pulled out. When the gauge stays on or the green wire has battery voltage with the key on, then you can continue testing the rest of the mower.